if the North try to own the South and say, hey, you guys are gonna pay taxes, South stood up for themselves and say, no, fuck that. We're gonna stand up. The only reason why it turned into a slavery war is because the North was losing, and they were like, well, if we win, we're gonna end slavery. So just to get people that didn't want slavery to come fight for them. That's what they want.
The organizers said, don't bring a Confederate flag.
Hey, there's people, and they got the right to represent whatever they believe in. And if they believe they're part of their heritage is the Confederate, hey, I'll give it to them. As long as they're not causing violence,
even if it stands for white supremacy to people in this country.
Just because the white supremacists and KKK adopted it doesn't make it racist.
What about the guy who designed the flag?
What about the guy who designed the flag?
What about your design? Your design is from 1932 Germany. Not that one. Antifa's
What about the communist flag that you guys are waving everywhere? No, the red one with the fucking communist symbol on it.
I didn't bring that one today.
Still, you guys are waving
today.
But there's no difference.
Right? You didn't bring it today, but you have
the Nazi flag that's no different from the communist flag that you guys are waving everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, you're saying shit. You're not really like.
He was actually blamed for being a federal infiltrator. He was there paid to make that. To get
what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
You gotta look up the fucking. Dude,
he was there.
He was fucking there.
Kind of annoying.
Do me a favor. You know, at some point, reason has to kick in, and you got to be willing to agree to disagree, right? You got to be willing. You have to be willing to agree. That's fine. That's fine.
I agree with their free speech,
and that's right.
Talking to people who've been making common ground with Americans all day.
And I appreciate you not having a mask over your face.
I mean, look at them. This young man was asked to remove his mask, and what did he do? And he did. He took his mask off.
I appreciate that. I do, because I deal.
Okay, so how about this?
I deal with Berkeley. I'm from Battle of Berkeley. I'm an OG in the Patriot movement. I have been here since the beginning. Since March 4th, I was standing next to Bay City, and I came from the South.
But I get that. No, so so the reason why people wear masks is because motherfuckers threaten to kill them and their families. Where the fuck do you live?
I got stabbed 9 times in Santa Monica. Okay, all right. I nearly lost my life for doing what I do. Okay, they have been to my house. They have threatened my families. They have been to my.
Was that this young man here?
That's not yours, but you.
They even adopted the cross. Does that make every Christian racist?
That's what I'm saying.
Let me interject again, if you don't mind. What's your name? I'm George. Tony.
They even used the Alaska's bodyguard. Lauren Southern's bodyguard. We're from
Latino.
Makes it racist. That makes it.
No.
Hablo español.
Sí, pero no latino.
No, I'm saying you guys are saying because the KKK adopted the Confederate. But they have the cross too. Does that make it racist?
It was already the white man's flag.
Jesus Christ. Black Confederates fought the war, dude. There was black Confederates that won the war.
All white men are the KKK? Is that what you're saying?
That's the words that came out of his mouth.
It sounded like what you said, yeah.
So do I agree with
I don't know. You said it was already the white man's flag when referring to that it was the KKK's flag.
You
said it was the KKK's flag. And then you said it was already the white man's flag. So are you saying?
We don't get the opportunity to talk with them, and then it turns into like a shouting match.
Of course. Sometimes you just gotta realize you get
It was described as the white man's flag to be for a white man's country, right? South, right? Or not the South.
Confederate people here.
I appreciate it.
I dealt with these kids.
Was designed to be racist.
So let me ask you a question here. If the KKK decided to take this nice flag here and make it their official flag, would you stop? Would you stop using that flag?
No, because it predates them.
Baby bull here.
Oh my God! So
that's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know.
So you wanna? Hey, you think the KKK?
I just got a 30-day ban on Facebook.
You have to get to that.
Oh, you're such a badass.
Absolutely. Humanity is going to come first. It has to. If you exclude humanity from the discussion, from the argument, from the disagreement, you always wind up being antagonistic to each other.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I mean, the truth is, when it comes to push comes to shove, you know what happened with the hurricanes. There was all kinds of people there, irregardless of their political affiliation, irregardless of their nationality, irregardless of their race, irregardless of their religion. Everybody came together and they helped out. You know, people from the left and the right were standing there side by side, helping out people that needed help. And when both sides of this equation blow off enough steam and we're able to have that conversation, that healthy dialogue, and get to the point where we can say, hey, listen, okay, I don't agree. Well, let's go get a beer.
I don't know if I could get a beer with that guy.
I get it. And you don't, I'm not saying you have to be friends.
I'm saying that these people, they're gonna talk about how violent we are. They're the motherfuckers doing terrorist attacks. Like, I know he's saying he's with the Patriot movement, but like, I think a lot of people like to say they're patriots. And
I'm a patriot.
Yeah, I mean, you are, honest to God, a patriot.
I appreciate you saying
that. Dude didn't seem like he was part of America that, my grandfather fought for. My grandfather is an OG anti-fascist. He fought the Battle of Bulge, I don't think he'd like to see Americans.
So you come from the military family?
Yeah, all the way back. Yeah. So I'm telling you,
crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think if he was alive right now, he'd want to see fucking fascists. Even if they don't have the full swastika flag, they're carrying around the fasces, that symbol, it's the rods wrapped around the hatchet. That's a symbol Mussolini used for the original fascist movement. To see that kind of shit in our streets, to see them attacking people. You know what they did after that car rammed through our comrades down in Charlottesville? They went and pulled a gun on the fucking on the hospital that was treating the victims, right? A 12-year-old girl got run the fuck over by that guy. And they went and they put that place on lockdown for the next 2 days. We couldn't visit our people who were hit. I was saying, is that guy a patriot? I don't think so. I think they're attacking Americans.
No. I mean, even if he called himself one, he's misguided. He's misguided.
I think, honestly, I know that guy, probably wasn't a fan of me, but I think what he said, there needs to be better education. Because I don't think these people understand what they're representing, what they're doing in this country. They're turning against Americans. They're attacking Americans.
I mean, what you guys are doing here, you guys are showing a tremendous amount of courage. I got to commend you guys. You're standing here in what could be an absolute shit show, another Charlottesville, man. Yeah. I'm serious. And you're standing here and you have open dialogue with people that basically don't understand your mindset, and that dialogue is happening, and it's perfect. What can I say, man? I look at you guys and I'm saying this is what needs to be happening. We have the conversation here.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll probably put this on YouTube. Can you give your name, so if you want?
I'm Iggy.
I'm George.
And the groups you represent?
New York Light Foot Militia.
And I'm just an anti-fascist. I'm here with Socialist Party USA.
And we're having the dialogue that needs to happen between opposing sides in our country of two political divides. What we're starting to find is that there's a lot of common ground. Basically, it's about the people. It's really not about the ideology of the far right or the ideology of the far left. And there's always common ground. The most bottom end of this is our humanity.
When did we separate? That's not when we divide.
What do you think? What would you say?
I'd say what divided us was when we were divided up into races, and one race, my race, was put up at the top of the pyramid. I think that's the core, division here in the United States. And then further than that, there's the division between rich and poor, those who have and those who have not.
Your race was put at the top of the pyramid. Do you?
I have.
Do I look oppressed?
I can't speak for your experience.
21 years old, 21 year retired Air Force. 50 years old. Do I look oppressed?
I can't speak for your experience.
But I'm black.
I'm not going to speak for you.
I'm not saying you speak for me, but you're saying that the white man is supreme. The only time that you can say that the white man is supreme is you yourself think you're supreme.
He didn't say that. He was saying that the system put white man at the top. That's what he was saying.
You're putting him at the top by saying that.
Am I though?
No.
How?
No.
If you're saying the system put the white man at the top, if you keep repeating that type of nature,
well, I agree
and
with
discussing
that.
I think what needs to
it's
happen
you.
I think what needs to happen is that white supremacy needs to be destroyed.
So you're saying the difference between us is imaginary?
It's not it's created by mass media. You look at it like this. I'm sure there's Nazis. There's 6,000 registered. There's 320 million people in this country. You know what the percentage of that is?
That's what I was telling you before, right?
You know the percentage of the population that Francisco Franco, that Mussolini, you know the percentage of the population they had when they took over? It doesn't take a lot of them to do a lot of damage.
See, here's what people don't understand.
Because they infiltrate.
Here's what they don't understand. People like you want to change in government, right? But here's what you forget. There's just not a change. In the middle of that is anarchy. And if you can't fish, hunt, start a fire without matches, you don't want that. I can handle that. He can handle that. He can handle that.
I can't handle that.
You can.
No, I think you can.
You lose 4G and you're done.
I've had several conversations with this young man today.
Yeah, but the majority of them, 4G goes down and they're committing suicide.
It's not about how to start a fire, it's how to cooperate, how to work together.
But it's not cooperating. Where here's this. I celebrate him coming out here with his red sheet and expressing himself. But why come here and cause controversy when you know people are doing something else?
we were on our way somewhere else. We're going to a different rally.
Yeah,
we got surrounded and attacked.
Yeah, they were going for the Juggalos.
And the Juggalos are cool.
Yeah, they've already left.
Oh, you by yourself. But see, nothing will happen to you.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just trying to understand that there's more to it than thinking that, oh, our white race is at the top. I don't feel that way. I refuse.
I mean, that's good for you experience that you haven't experienced that.
But I grew up poor on food stamps in the projects. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, like dirt poor.
Don't hurt him, Dion. Don't hurt him.
I grew up dirt poor. Now look at me. You know why? Because I refused to believe that the white man was holding me down. That's why. That's why. That's how. And I got two brothers. Same way. Grew up dirt poor. Army, retired, 23 years. Grew up dirt poor. We refused to believe that the white man was holding us down. If you believe and that's all you complain about, you complain all day. But if you have no action,
one thing that America does is that if you're feeling like you want more stuff, you go into the military and you take it.
I'm gonna be honest right now. I don't.
So I went in the military and took it.
You got rewarded for defending the property of your country. Where did you go to defend it?
Where did I go?
Yes.
I was at the Pentagon 18 and a half years. Never left this country.
Were you sent to?
Never left. I explained to you, I'm Air Force. Crypto. I didn't go, didn't shoot nobody. You got the wrong guy. Nope. 18 and a half years, same spot.
Share in the wealth if you fight for it. That's the American dream.
No. Here's the thing. The military didn't make me rich. The military didn't make me rich. What made me rich was I took advantage of college, educated myself when they were educating instead of indoctrinating.
It wasn't the military that made you rich, it was your own initiative.
Exactly, but you said I killed people with the war and that made me rich.
Why did you have to go into the military then?
No, I chose to go in the military. That was my choice. Because my father went in the military. My pleasure. My father went in the military, my grandfather went in the military. My dad was a Marine and it was mandatory. Before you go to college, you spend 2 years in. I liked it, I spent 21.
It sent you to college.
They didn't send me to college, I could have got out and stayed home. I chose to go. But what I'm saying, if you constantly say that somebody's holding you down, you're going to be held down. That's the bottom line. You're going to be held down.
What goes on in this country is the wealth gap increases every year. The richer get richer, the poorer get poorer. Jobs cannot
Whose
support
choice is
a
that?
living wage.
Whose choice is that?
Whose choice is that? Whose choice is that? I think it's the rich people who decide the wages of the
No, I'm
worker.
not rich, and that's my choice.
You're right. You're lucky. You're the outlier. As I said,
if I'm the
majority of
outlier,
Americans,
if
they don't work
if I'm
a
the
job
reason-
that can support a basic living. Most people can't afford basic needs. I think the poverty line in America is about $34,000 a year. Most people.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? Our country's.
Let me tell you.
Capitalism.
I just told you right now. I'm a 3-time convicted felon.
I get that.
How in the world was I supposed to get a job?
As I said, you are an outlier, my friend. I congratulate you because you did an amazing job where most people can't.
When everyone told me we would love to hire you, but our insurance won't be able to cover you, and I had a family to support.
Yeah.
But where I'm at right now, man,
I have to congratulate you, man, because that is not what most people end up.
Okay. I'm no different from anybody.
But you tried and you succeeded.
And why can't
because
they?
You had some luck, unfortunately.
Why?
Everyone,
Why?
There are men and women who try just as hard as you to do what you're doing with three
With that
being
said, I've been stereotyped, I've been profiled. And when a police officer comes to me, they ask me if I've been in prison or jail. I just, you know what? I already know what's going to happen. But my point is this: it doesn't stop me from thinking different. Perseverance. It doesn't stop when my child.
Perseverance works a lot.
Okay,
and that is for the majority of people.
What's your name again?
The majority of people try to persevere. They try their hardest.
It
is not an excuse. It is a broken system where most people.
No.
From us, it's not.
And it's not.
It's an excuse.
Where most people can't.
Same here too. It's another one.
It's an excuse.
What do I mean a broken system? The wealth gap increasing every single year to right now where CEOs in this country make 300 times more of the average worker, where in the 70s they only made about 25 times more than the average worker.
These guys say enough trickles down to them so that happens.
Unfortunately, they're an outlier, and the majority of people in this country who are in a similar situation
I got a question for you.
not as lucky
I got
as
a question for you. Not to bring up the Obama and all that stuff. Okay. No, but what I'm trying to say is the medical. I make good money, and I can't afford insurance for my children. Now, hold on, all right? But everyone else, and I'm not against pre-existing conditions for people. I think everyone should have insurance. But it's not fair that I can't afford it, but everyone else can, that don't want to struggle in life. So I do believe from glory to glory, there is a bridge called struggle, which a lot of people don't want to cross that bridge because they don't know what it is to be American.
Tell that to a woman who works 3 jobs.
I'll tell that to anybody who has a life, who has
basic living.
I'll tell that to anybody who has a brain, anybody who has fingers and work, anybody who has a will to survive.
Works 80 hours a week to try
Brother,
to feed their
I had to work
child.
3 jobs because nobody gave me a job.
You're great. That's great, man.
Okay.
That's great. You were able to
But,
persevere. Some people try as hard as you and don't
different
succeed.
from nobody.
There are tons of people who try as hard as you and don't succeed.
Well, they should continue.
What country is better than this?
I think our country has many great things, but I also
What country is better than ours, economically?
Economically, Germany.
Who?
So
Germany, who has socialized medicine and many socialized.
But that
programs.
doesn't have,
Yes,
socialized medicine has nothing to do with the economy.
Socialized medicine, you know, where a lot of people start struggling when insurance prices.
That's anti.
Where
You're
their
talking about
basic
jobs.
costs.
You're
I
talking
am
about
talking.
affording to pay for a living. Your cost of living.
People
We're
need a
not talking
job.
about Medicare.
People need a job that they can afford their basic needs.
Museum over there that shows abused slaves, hung children, and everything else. But that doesn't offend you? And a statue does? Give me a break. I don't care if it's a statue of a Democrat, Republican, or whatever. The thing is that we call the United States. Back then it was called these United States. And if you understand that only 1 in 64 people owned slaves in the South, and most of those people were rich, it has nothing to do with color, it has to do with money. And when people start understanding that, they can get past all this racial tension. You take Newton Knight of Jones County, Mississippi, a white man who fought with the Confederacy. They changed the law. Now, he didn't own any slaves. They changed the law that said if you own less than 20 slaves, you have to go fight in the front line. And you know what he said? Oh, hell no. This is the rich man's war. We don't own any slaves. And they turned against the Confederacy. So again, it goes back to money.
You said you voted for Obama.
I did.
What changed? What woke you up? How do you become?
No. When you see somebody talk, and in his first term, I was like, oh, he's great. I got 2 years in. I was like, oh.
Well, how'd you go from a Obama supporter to a Trump supporter?
It's not about Obama or Trump. It's about policies. I don't agree with Obama's policies. I agree with Trump. No.
What woke you up to conservatism?
What woke me up? Okay, here's the thing. What woke me up to conservatism was this. Maybe I need to quit listening to people and open a book. And as I read, I started thinking to myself, well, wow, the Republican Party was created in 1854 and the Democrats are all South. The slaves were freed in 1863. Why was Martin Luther King marching down there in 1962 in an all Democratic controlled area? He wasn't marching in Boston. He wasn't marching in New York City, only in the South, and the South was controlled by Democrats. So it made me read even more, and it just doesn't make sense. I look at the voting history of the Democratic Party, where 100% of them voted against the 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment. Come on, a book woke me up. See, most of us as children don't ask questions.
Speak to your politicians. things.
I'm just giving you an example.
You know,
of
our
what
government's
want.
supposed to
You
fix
want our
these
government
things.
to control means of production. That's your final goal. And I'm just giving you an
I believe the
example. of
people
what
should
that is.
control the means of production, and not a wealthy few.
Yeah, I understand you guys are gonna follow that kind of stuff and those guys do, but I mean, but you should be able to speak on behalf. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. Right. Which is fine. That's your movement, that's your thing. There's going to be people here that disagree with that. And you're going to look over and you're going to see people that you disagree with. But at the end of the day, if we get invaded tomorrow by any foreign country, it's going to be me, you, and all of us together to defend this land.
I say,
and I can guarantee you that we're not going to put you with the enemies if we get invaded. And you're not going to put us with the enemies if we get invaded. Because we're going to have to stick together in order to defeat the enemy. You see what I'm saying?
I'm saying before that happens, I think we do have an enemy right here. And we've been talking about it. We've been talking about the rise of this fascist movement. I think it's a threat to everyone here.
Well, I'll tell you
It's a threat
what.
to every one of us.
I can tell you one thing. The white supremacist movement in this country was almost irrelevant. Y'all gave them a platform.
I say you
gave them a platform. The media gave them a platform when they started reporting on it. These people were almost gone. They had died out. That's not a movement anymore. That's not something that kids are being brought up in anymore. I mean, there might be that much left in this country, but the problem is mainstream media is giving them a platform and making it grow.
Definitely, I'd say the media did like the sensationalism. You see these articles about
Them people don't have a
white
platform.
supremacists.
And as far as I mean, when I heard about the KKK the first time recently, over the last year or whatever, the rise of the KKK, I thought there was maybe 300 inbred sons of bitches standing in the middle of the woods,
like a registered 600
butt fucking each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I thought of the KKK. I was like, they exist still? You know what I'm saying?
They were defeated.
They were irrelevant.
I'd say they were defeated, but there was a definitely, especially in the 90s, there was a principled American anti-fascist movement that definitely would no platform them, would keep them out of, say, the punk scene, things like that. And you'll see that abroad, it could be inaccurate now. It's just a little bit old, but we're gonna head out. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. All right. It was nice meeting you.
Now look, that's a prime example. That's militia right there.
Yeah.
That's militia, making sure you're all right. Protecting you. You're not here to attack you. You're here to protect everybody else.
Yeah, and they definitely got into
And I hope
We're trying to get there right now.
trying to get over there.
Yeah.
We've been making our way this way.
Done a good job, much better than Obama, and I am 100% sure that he's gonna make 4 years more after.
Great.
Thank you.
I actually don't know.
But we will never change it if we're apart. We'll never change it if we're pitted against each other, and that's what they want. So I just appreciate you being civil, man. What's your name?
Iggy.
Iggy? I'm Tommy, man. Nice to meet you guys. So I appreciate you guys coming out and all that good stuff, man. All right?
I'm gonna head to you, man. Nice to meet you, Jim Fresh. Thanks.
All right, fella. Be safe, Jack.
Best of luck, man. Best of luck.
So what do you think? What do you think of those guys? Why do you think they liked you so much? And what was it that you said to them?
I think they liked us just because this was obviously a lower energy event. They didn't have too many, I guess, overtly racist imagery here. I do disagree fundamentally with what they're here for.
Why did they agree with you? Why did they like you? What was it about you that brought them out to shake your hand?
I think they felt comfortable around me. Maybe I was something closer to what they're used to talking to.
But you're a socialist, right?
I'm a socialist. I consider myself a communist. Yes.
And aren't they isn't that sort of what they, what they attack?
Seethe against?
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
They seethe against.
I'm honestly you'll have to ask them. I think working class people tend to be fed by media, by pundits. They get fed this idea that their problems are the faults of, say, immigrants or black people, homosexuals, social justice warriors, what have you. But I think deep down, I think the message that there should be people's power and that power should flow from the bottom up definitely resonates with a lot of people. I think.
So are we going towards inevitable civil war, or do you think there's some place we can?
I'd say it's not inevitable. I'd say there are heightened tensions. Say that we definitely have a fascist threat here in the United States. Definitely here in the Capitol, you'll see them around. And we've seen what they're capable of. We've seen them attack, people defending their fellow Americans, like people who were stabbed on the metro. You see what happened in Charlottesville. So they're a definite threat, and they're growing in influence.
Thanks very much. Anybody else you want to say anything?
I mean, I'm just really encouraged by watching people talk. There were a lot of folks that wanted to come out and just yell at us, but there were a healthy handful that wanted to talk and see if there was common ground, and there really is. There's a lot that common people agree on still.
What did you agree with them about?
Just that one of the big things that we kept coming back to was that we all really want the same things. We want we're Americans. We love our country more so that we love our fellow Americans. And we just want what's best for the country. And
now, what kind of politics do you believe in? Are you also like a socialist communist?
I'm more of an anarchist.
So what does it mean to be an anarchist? What does that really represent to you? What does it mean to you?
It means I accept my responsibility to rule myself, that ultimately I'm responsible for all my own actions, and I believe that if society was run in that way, that everyone was responsible for themselves, that people would all have a voice, and we could see something like a direct democracy, where people accepted responsibility for their own communities and could enact change in their own neighborhoods, where that structure exists.
And to them, being a socialist or being an anarchist is red meat or not, or are they?
I mean, I'm still sort of new to radical politics, so I'm not great on splitting the hairs, so to speak. To me, you'll never be able to stop. You'll never be able to stop capitalism. The free trade that people have when they want to trade. You'll never be able to stop that. So, to me, anarchy is just about embracing the free trade with the whatever people commodify and just living in peace, I guess.